Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. This is a urban gardening update for 2015. As you can see, I got two habanero plants in front of me, and they're starting to have flowers on them. So the flowers later turn into peppers. Just gotta give it some time, especially wait for the sun to keep shining on these plants. It's the second one over here. This is just some, I like to play around with some things. This is just some onions that I pulled out of the fridge, and it was a bulb that had these three shoots growing out of it. So I figured I'd plant them in here. This is dill. These plants are dill. This is a basil plant that I got recently, and you see, I guess it's starting to have some flowers on it, which I suppose is going to start making seeds. I can pick the seeds off and keep this plant going. It smells good. This is a tomato plant that one of my bosses gave me. And it's a tomato nut growing right now. It was very small when I got it about 2 weeks ago. I guess maybe not be getting enough sun, or maybe too much sun and enough water. I'm not really that good at growing tomatoes, to be honest. But I let him know ahead of time. But he figured, he'd give me a plant to try out. These are poblano seeds. I'm actually gonna grow these. I hope to transplant these to a bigger plant. I got these seeds from some vegetables I got at the grocery store. And I was curious to see whether they would grow, because I'm not sure if they were heirloom or not. They were from Mexico. The peppers were. These are jalapeno pepper plants. As you know, I've always loved growing jalapenos. So hopefully these will grow pretty tall, and I'll be able to get a lot of peppers from them. Some more. Let's see, I got a little pest taking little chomps at the leaves, but that's alright. Some more seeds. These grew a little bit later. Wait till the soil warmed up. Long cayenne pepper. This is my first time actually growing these. I had this plant about 2 years ago. But I finally used the seeds this time, so I want to see what progress I get with these plants. More jalapenos. Another long cayenne pepper plant. I think this is a weed. I'm gonna pick that weed out right now. Toss it to the side. Another jalapeno plant. Another jalapeno plant. I love those things. I'm gonna take a walk around. Doing corn again. I decided to cut back on how much corn I was going to do, since I don't have a lot of sun coming up in this direction. The sun normally comes out in this area at around 2 o'clock, and I really like to have some morning sun on these plants. So I decided I'd just plant 6 stalks, and they seem to be doing okay. This one was actually leaning over a bit more. It actually was broken in half, but I can see that it's actually growing. And the one I've got my hands on right now, where I got see where it bends, it was actually bent in half, but it strengthened itself as it kept on growing. And I've been steadily watering them and feeding them from the vermicompost. I got one vine that's trying to grab a hold of me. This is my Kentucky Wonder pole bean plant. I'm gonna have to do some pruning here. I've been very busy. That's why I haven't been doing a lot of videos. I've been trying to tend to my garden as best I could with my new work schedule. And the truck is still up and running. I just replaced the hydraulic system on the clutch. Right here, I have mint. What's funny about this is I actually had I got the plant sometime last year, and I planted it in this little container during the fall. And it stayed dormant during the winter. Then all of a sudden during the spring it sprouted up, and it was a very big bushy plant. I actually started taking some of the mint leaves off of this and brewing it with tea. And it tastes pretty good. It smells very good too. Right here I have a summer squash. You can see a couple right there growing. See, there's like 3 full ones. I see one a little shriveled up right there. I'm not sure if that's natural. This is only the second time I've ever grown summer squash. So we'll wait to see where it goes with that. But like I have a bit of ants, they've taken a bit of a home to the plant. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe use some soap water to get them off. Just some mild detergent soap. But they really do love the sun. That's why the ones up front seem to be doing a lot better than the ones in the back. I guess they're getting too much shade. Next, the pickle plant. See, there's my thumb. It's about as big, a little bit bigger than my thumb. It's a cucumber, or rather, it's a cucumber plant, but I may make pickles out of these. Who knows? Got one right there that's growing. It's doing pretty well. Some of the flowers are still good. Right there, you can see a small one growing. I think it comes down to a matter of how much sun they get, but also how much they get watered. Again, this is actually maybe the third time I've grown this. I had a few small ones the second time I grew. The first time I didn't do too well, but like I said, it's a work in progress. The reason why I'm wearing these gloves is because these are pretty prickly. Vines. So just trying to protect my hands a bit. Can't really blame the plant for having thorns on it. You know, that's just a defense mechanism. So, you know, even plants protect themselves. There's another pole bean patch. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a cage and put it on top of this. That way these vines can actually have something that they can grow onto. I think I'm gonna do that after I do this video. Got kale. I grew kale over the summer, or not over the summer, but over the fall and winter. And some of these, I gave a lot of. I don't eat kale, but I gave a lot of the leaves away to friends of mine, to some vegetarian friends of mine I knew who would like them, and they said they were pretty good. And right here, I got some dried up pods, and those are seeds. So what I'm gonna do one day is I'm gonna collect these pods, and I'm gonna repackage the seeds, and maybe grow them during another winter harvest. Right there, you can see, even though this one has, it's drying out and is ready for me to get some fresh pods off of them, it still has some green growing up on the bottom of it. So this is my first time actually growing kale. So I'm imagining that it's gonna produce more leaves. I may have to get rid of this top, but hey, you tell me what you think. I'm open to advice. These are some Cowhorn container plants. The seeds haven't taken off too well. So what I may do is, like I said, transplant the poblanos to these containers. Right here is another experiment I'm trying this year. It's growing potatoes. I read this thing online where you make a box and you build the box up as the plants get bigger, and it's supposed to produce a certain amount of potatoes. It's about time for me to build another section. Stack on top of this. But yeah, I guess this is my first time ever growing potatoes. I grew them accidentally inside my compost pile when I had a lot of potato scraps inside of it, and they were shielded from the sun. They did grow, but they didn't they didn't last very long because they didn't get much nutrition, or they didn't get a lot of water because I had them covered up. Over here, this is a pumpkin seed. I planted a pumpkin seed that I found that was growing inside one of my containers, and I decided just to plant it right here. And I guess I'm hoping to see what will come of it. So just a lot of it's just off the cuff kind of stuff. Please tell me what you think. Got any suggestions for the garden? I'll be open to any comments or questions. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Hope everyone out there who's doing gardening themselves, I hope their gardens are taking off, and if they're running into trouble, I hope they receive the help they can get. And gripes, complaints, the drill. Send me a PM. I'll see what I can do. But that's my garden. So 2015 update on my garden. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.